So, I finished Captain Marvel. Watched it tonight. And I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. It was not the worst Marvel movie that they've made. That still falls squarely on Iron Man 3, and again I say shame on you, writers, directors, and everybody involved in fucking Iron Man 3. I can't say that enough. It was, however, not the best Marvel movie. That is still squarely Infinity War. I really honestly don't think that those positions are ever really going to be overtaken. I just gotta say, I really just don't think that's ever going to change. Now, where do I put it then? I would say that it is tied for second worst Marvel movie with Dark World. I gotta be honest with you, it just was bad. The writing was bad. Like, the writing was bad. They couldn't have possibly shoehorned in any more tropes. It should have been called Captain Marvel, Rise of the Tropes. It was awful. There isn't a man in that movie that doesn't sexually harass her in some way or another, except for Nick Fury and Agent Coulson. They are the only two good, honest men on the planet Earth in this movie. Every single other fucking one of them harasses her or demeans her in some fucking way. Rise of the Tropes! It was terrible. The writing was just awful. Brie Larson had moments of good acting. But all in all, for the most part, was awful. Made of wood. Fucking made of wood. Just made of wood. I seriously don't know if the director said, look, you're bored perpetually by everything. And underlie that with an overpowering sense of fucking arrogance. Like, it was, oh God, she was so terrible. I'm willing to bet, based on what I have seen of Brie Larson outside of this movie, that Brie Larson thinks that she's going to be the next fucking Nicolas Cage, right? She's shooting to be the next Morgan Freeman. She's really trying to just be Brie fucking Larson with everything that she does. Just an arrogant, cunty fucking person playing every character as an arrogant, cunty person. Ugh. It was painful to watch her. It was almost impossible to root for her. Like, it was almost impossible to root for her. I wanted her to fail more than she did. And you want to know why? Because she did nothing but fail at everything until the absolute very end. But she was arrogant about her failures every fucking step of the way. What is it with you feminist writers? Why is it that strong women characters always have to be failures and arrogant? How does that equal strong to you? Is that really the way you see us? Because I know that you're not actually trying to write strong women. There are so many strong women examples that you can pull from, and none of them are failures and arrogant all the fucking time. I don't get it. Is that really the way you see men? Just constantly arrogant in your failures? So when you write these strong female leads that have to be exactly like men because women, that you make them all arrogant failures? I don't get it. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. She had no fucking... she was just terrible. Ugh, I hated rooting for her. I really, really did. I wanted her to lose. Because I just didn't like her. And you want to know why? She just wasn't likable. I loved the nod to Black Mrs. or Captain Marvel. I thought that was kind of cool. They kind of put Black Captain Marvel in it, but not Black Captain Marvel, you know, because Captain Marvel. But they still had a character with the same name as the Captain Marvel in the comics that was black. The fight scenes, I remember seeing an interview with, or just, I don't know, it was a movie teaser type thing where it was people from the movie, cast members talking about being in the movie. And I remember seeing the fight choreographer say that Brie Larson was so amazing. That she would come in and she'd learn the routines in 20 minutes. And honestly, no. She would learn the routines in 20 minutes roughly enough to be able to do them well enough that when you cut it up 50 fucking ways per second, yeah, she looks fantastic. Yeah, it was another one of those movies where the cameras and the cuts are so fast and everybody's moving so fast and everything's pretty much, when it isn't cut like that, everything covered up and shit, it was, oh, just terrible. It was, you could tell it was just terrible. The desire to somehow shoehorn in little attachments to every other fucking Marvel movie, it was like begging people to buy that this was somehow a well thought out, way in advance movie. It was like, look, we really had the idea to do this a long time ago. No, you didn't. It was obvious. When you shoehorn references in and shit like that in, it was obvious you wanted to just kind of plug this the fuck in somehow. And it was terrible. It was terrible. Like, did I already talk about the music? The music was bad too. Not because the music was bad, but because the music selection was bad. It was all girl groups, which I'm not shitting on girl groups. Every single one of those girl groups I like. Every single one of those songs I like. But for you to make it Rise of the Tropes, and then every fucking song, and here was the other funny part, is literally a 5 to 10 second clip of a girl band song from in the 90s. The 90s references were terribly shoehorned in. They had to reference what everything, actually what, highest in technology, two-way pager. Who says that shit? Yes, my pager. Nobody says that shit. The twist was fucking predictable. Like, it was so fucking predictable. Terrible writing. Terrible writing. The directing was good. Like, it was like all these amazing actors, minus Brie Larson, were trying so fucking hard with the shit script that they were given. And it seemed like the director was trying really hard to cover up the shit that just wasn't fucking there. And it just, oh my god, it was just, it wasn't fantastic. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't the most disappointing. It was mildly entertaining. I'll admit, halfway through it, I thought to myself, boy, I have to finish doing that story quest and Marvel Puzzle Quest before 11 o'clock. I might not get it done by 11 o'clock. Unless I start working on it now. And I started playing Marvel Puzzle Quest. I'm not lying to you. I'll be honest with you. Pretty much the last half an hour of the movie, I didn't really pay full attention to. What do you want from me? Like, it wasn't great. Annette Bening was fantastic. Jude Law was fantastic. The dude that plays Coulson was fantastic. Fury was fantastic. Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson was fantastic. The guy that was the Scree was fantastic. Again, struggling with horrible fucking lines and bad fucking writing, but nevertheless, he was pretty fucking good. It's just, The cat was probably one of the best parts of the movie. All the reviews talk about the cat, and you know what? They got it right. The cat was probably the best part of the movie. It was the best twist, it was the most funny part, and it was honestly the most cool character in the fucking movie that wasn't an already established character. The cat was pretty fucking awesome. I'd like to see more of the cat. And the only other thing that I really liked about the movie, I liked that they changed the Marvel intro to be kind of an homage to Stan. It was all Stan Lee. Like, it was just flipping through pictures of Stan Lee instead of comic books and shit like that and scenes of Stan Lee. I thought that was pretty awesome. It made me sit back and go, aw, Stan Lee. You know what I mean? And you know, they did a little thanks to Stan Lee, and I thought that was fantastic. But yeah, it went way fucking downhill from there. And that's sad. When the Marvel intro is what gets you, and it goes downhill from there, that's fucking sad, right? Because that Marvel intro is getting fucking played out. It was probably the best part of the movie, besides the cat. The cat was very cool. So, I don't know. If you want to waste your money on it, go ahead. But honestly, I would wait for it to come out on HBO or some shit like that, because it isn't worth wasting money on. And don't expect it to be good. Don't expect it to be great. Expect it to be a Marvel movie. I mean, that's pretty much all I can say. Like, that, I don't know. I don't want to go through the movie and talk about specific parts, because really, you don't really need to. It was pretty much all or nothing with individual sections. Brie Larson, all bad. Everybody else, pretty much all good. Writing, pretty much all bad. The suspenseful, twisty things, pretty much all bad. Pretty much all predictable. Even the cat was fucking predictable, right? Like, they do... I can't even say a decent job. They tried to do a decent job to cover up the cat, but they tell you the whole fucking movie what the cat is, and you as a person sitting there watching it think to yourself, why is everybody so concerned for the cat? You think that because everybody in the movie's telling you why is everybody so concerned about the cat. But about the third or fourth time they refer to the cat and the way they refer to the cat, you start thinking to yourself, that cat is not what it looks like. And no, it ain't. So, predictable as fuck. The music, every time a fucking 90s song came on, I was like, oh my god, here we go again. Just bad. In the last fight, I'm Just a Girl plays. For all of about 10 seconds, just so that you can hear the fucking I'm Just a Girl part and get that she's just a girl and that's now beating people up. I think what's funny about it, when it all comes down to it, as much as these type of people go on and on and on about bullies and harassment and how it's just nothing but damaging and horrible and awful. It actually was amazing how well they promoted that standing up to bullies is what makes you a strong person. I thought that was fucking hysterical. Just like when I watched Black Panther and I thought to myself, T'Challa is essentially Donald Trump. And everybody's talking about how this is an amazing fucking movie and T'Challa is so fucking awesome when he's essentially Donald Trump. I thought that was fucking funny little paradox. And again, the whole standing up to bullies is what makes you strong. That's kind of a lesson you get out of this movie. Another funny little paradox with how much these people are against bullying and how bullying in and of itself is the worst goddamn thing to ever happen to humanity. Like, and that's what happens when you watch an ideology piece. And that's what happens when you get into the really hardcore leftist dumbass ideology. It doesn't fucking work. And you know it on the face of it because we've all been there. And I swear to God, every time I saw that bitch stand up, I wanted to take a drink. But I think I would have died.